Docious fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I know you stay busy. I know you stay busy, so I have to make sure that you we can get the interview going, and then so you can get back to your regular duties.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, this is part of them. Keeping people informed as to what's going on that'll affect their daily life. So we all right.
Right, 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 right. So we're gonna get you situated right here, and let me see if we gotta add Antonita, see if she comes in. I don't know. She's popping in. There she is, right there. You know, she, you know how internet is. She said, "Hey, Antonita." I know she can see us.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. You see what we have on if you can see us?
Uh huh. Uh huh. Well, I was wanting to wear a T-shirt, but I said, well, these are important people, so I need to, show up in a different way.
Okay, okay, okay.
And fix my collar here, so I come correct.
Well, we
Say
Hello,
again.
are you on
Hello.
the show? Everybody's
I'm
in the
here.
show. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, we here. We here. So if
And
everybody
I
can
can
hear
hear you.
everybody, can
Yes.
everybody hear everybody? Can everybody can hear everybody, right? So that's it. That's it. So Antonita, I'm probably gonna get you to come in this studio, and that way, you guys can have the conversation, and so I can work on some of these technical difficulties. So if the if her mic is off, is your mic on? Okay.
My mic. Yeah. I just
Okay.
I
Good.
just had it muted.
Okay. Good. So I'm gonna go get her, and I'm gonna get her to come in here, and all she has. Now y'all just go through the interview and everything, and go from there. So we're broadcasting live right now. So
Okay.
everybody just hold on. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm here.
Better. It's better. It's better.
Better. It's better. It's better.
Okay.
Okay.
So, how are you feeling this
I'm
morning?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good.
I
I
know.
tell people, huh?
No, go ahead.
I always tell people the good part about living in Clark County in Southern
So
Nevada is
feeling
that
this
yeah,
morning.
yeah, every morning you wake up, you expect the sun to be shining,
Mm-hmm.
and it's shining, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
quite as hot. So I'm good. How about you?
I
I am
am fine. We are.
we're having a little technical difficulties, but we will work through that.
Okay.
I am excited. You see, I am representing to
Yeah.
everyone that is listening in. We are representing. We're giving Miss Spearman, Dr. Pet Spearman, an early tribute for veterans because we are both veterans, me and Stretch, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Pat Spearman here today. We are going to give you an early happy Veterans Day in
Well,
case we
thank
don't
you.
see you.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
should put my hat on. I got a hat too. You want me to put my hat
get
on?
your hat. Go put your hat
Okay.
on.
Okay. Okay.
Represent.
Stand by. Stand.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay. It's real light. Yeah, but we
Yeah.
see it. We
Yeah.
retired. Yeah,
Okay.
retired. Retired.
I got a black one, but I thought it'd be a little bit too dark
No,
for the, yeah,
no,
but it's
because we
cool.
got on dark.
Okay.
It's good. We can see it.
Okay.
Retired Army veteran, and we are delighted to have you. You know, we're not going to keep our mayoral candidate long. Miss Spearman, Senator Pat Spearman, she is the state senator for Nevada, as well as running for mayor of North Las Vegas. And we are truly excited to have you. Of course, again, I am sitting over here as DJ Stretch, and Antonita LESHAE is down at the bottom, and then you are there. That's
That's all right.
one thing we
It's
love
all
about
good.
technology is, and you know, I'm just getting back. I was gone for a few days and I just arrived back yesterday, so I'm a little
Okay.
jet lagged, but we're gonna make it happen. What we want to do right now, I and Stretch really don't go through the whole bio thing because if
Good.
they want, they can go on your website at Senator Pat Spearman here in Nevada. We only heard great things for you from the mayoral standpoint. Again, I am bonded and controlled, I say, by the Hatch Act. So I can't really discuss any of the senator part, and we have your name listed as that. But
Mm-hmm.
we have to discuss. You already know about that type of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Only the city thing, and we want to, because that's what you're here for. We're here
Mm-hmm.
for the people of North Las Vegas, and we want you to kind of tell us what's your stance and what you plan to do for that beautiful, upcoming city. It is the city to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Come tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that. And if you can, briefly about yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you. So, the I can talk to you about some of the Senate, and it won't violate the Hatch Act. I just wanted to say this: there are some bills that have already passed in the state of Nevada that will affect veterans,
Okay.
and I really want to I want to get that out. Number one, we had several veterans, several thousands of veterans who were discharged under Don't Ask, Don't Tell,
Yep.
and
Yep.
for no other reason than that they were basically kicked out of the service. And when they were,
Mhm.
many of them got other than honorable, dishonorable, general discharge, and those sorts of things. And all of that meant that they didn't have access to their benefits. And
Right.
so I carried a bill, and the governor signed it in 2017, I think it was. Anyone who was discharged under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and that's the only reason that they were kicked out, you can now call the Nevada State Department for Veterans Affairs
Okay.
or Veteran Services and ask them to help you get your discharge upgraded at no
Oh,
cost to you.
wow. Wow.
That's important because uh, those service members were serving proudly. What they
Hmm.
were not allowed to do was to serve with honor,
Right.
and I just believe that was wrong. Anybody that went into the service after, let's see, the draft was over, and I think it was 75. Anybody who went in after 75 went in because they wanted to be in, and
Hmm.
so the fact that they were dismissed because of their affectional orientation,
Right.
and they still wanted to serve, I think that was. That was something that should have been reckoned with. The other one happens to do with MST, military sexual trauma. And one of my colleagues, she's a former colleague now, Senator Joyce Woodhouse, she and I carried a bill to put a special emphasis on women who are going through the criminal justice system. And there's some type of military sexual trauma associated with that. The one thing that we haven't done well in this country is we haven't taken care of our women veterans.
Yes, I
And
say
so
that.
you can also
Hmm.
contact Nevada Department of Veterans Services, and they can help you with that. Last session, I had a bill that passed, and it applies to two categories. And I'm sure that some of the veterans that are in that are listening probably fit into at least one of those. The first category is the bill actually allows the state treasurer, Zach Conine, and he helped me work on the bill to get it to where it should be, to set up a special account, individual development account called an IDA. And that's for anyone who is receiving any kind of social services.
Mhm.
You know, when you receive social services, you're limited by income, you're limited in what you can save, and you're limited in what. And so, you know, one of the things that I know, having been when we were younger, we were on food stamps
Okay.
because we had to be. But
Mhm.
those systems are not designed to help get people out of poverty. Those systems are designed really to keep people in perpetual poverty. Because if it was designed to get you out, you would be able to save money to improve your situation. So the IDA, the Individual Development Account, that is under under the state treasurer's office, you can call him today and tell
Okay.
them I am receiving SNAP, I'm, you know, getting assistance, Section 8, whatever it is, and tell them you want to set up an IDA. Now you establish up front what your goals are. So it's not an ATM. You don't put money in this week and then take it out next week. You
Mhm.
put the money in and it stays there, and you set a goal for how much money you want to save. And that money can be used as a down payment for a home. It can be used to start a small business. It can be used to pay off debts that are keeping you from doing either of the two. But it's a way to get people out of out of poverty without losing any of their benefits. It doesn't count against your benefits, so you won't lose anything. The second group of people that it applies to is are children who are aging out of the foster care system.
Yeah.
At 12:01, the night of their birthday, they're done. They can't stay there. There's no place for them to go, and unless a family has adopted them or they have gotten some type of relationship going, they're just out on the street. And
Mhm.
many of them then become susceptible to human trafficking.
Okay.
And I think, you know, the only reason they were in the foster care system is because one of these systems failed them early on in life. And I
Right.
don't think that they should continue to be penalized because the system failed them earlier. And now we have no provisions for them. So they too can set up an IDA. Their foster care parents can set up an IDA. And anyone can contribute to that IDA, individual development account, so that when they age out of the system, they have some type of financial stability. Last but not least, I'll say this about the Purple Heart Highway.
Mhm.
So many times I hear people say, you know, say, "Well, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service." I say, "Well, thank you," but there's not enough tangible gratitude, I think, for veterans. And I think a lot of people, whenever the wars went from the front page to the second, third, or even the back page, or not, you know, in the news at all, a lot of people forgot the sacrifice that service members made and their families made while they were serving. So the Purple Heart Bill was really designed to remind people of the sacrifices that we made while serving, and we continue to serve. So I don't think that violates the hashtag, but I wanted to make sure that some folks got
No,
it out
you
there.
did. You didn't touch on my
Yeah,
agency's issues, but
yeah.
however, I wanted to piggyback on what you said about the "don't ask, don't tell,"
Hmm.
and then the MST situation. I've known many veterans while I was serving that were in that same situation, and I'm glad you touched up on that because I
Hmm.
was in a similar situation and experienced something with some people that I know. And just generalizing and doing training in 2003, because I joined at the age of 29. Late, I'm a late bloomer joining the
Yeah,
military.
it's okay. You
And I've
joined. Thank you.
experienced some that didn't even get to wear the uniform
Hmm.
because when they came out and told them that they were openly gay,
Hmm.
and the military didn't even addressed them, didn't give them a uniform. They immediately got discharged, yet they signed up again to join.
Hmm.
So, you know, those experiences, and I know by you being in there from what, 1977 and to what, 2000,
2007.
yeah, to 2007, you know, you served and you've seen a lot. You know, you've seen a lot, especially in your ranking. You've seen and you, people came up in front of you and discussed these matters. And, you know, it's just, going back to being a female, a woman veteran, and I say this all the time, we don't get the same treatment as our men. Um, I can give you examples of when me and Stretch, sometimes we hang out and we're out, and he
Hmm.
says he's a veteran, he's being acknowledged, and it's like, oh, she's a veteran too. It's like, oh, okay. And they continue to talk to him and say,
Right, right.
and then this is why a lot of women don't go to the VA and get
Hmm.
services
Hmm.
and don't go get treatment. It's predominantly men that go there. So I proudly go to the VA for my services.
Hmm.
I've served. I I signed up just like a male counterpart, and I go there and I receive my services, whatever the benefits. And if I know of something, I always share my knowledge with those other veterans who do not want to go or feel they don't know what to do, or I could try to steer them in the right direction on where to go, because there are so many veterans who don't even know the minimum,
Mm-hmm.
because when they get out, they're not really told.
Mm-hmm.
VA is accessible for you. Go there, get your benefits, whatever it is. You honorably served. And I think it's a great thing, that bill that's did it pass, or is it
It
going to
did.
pass?
It did. No, no, no.
Okay,
It
so it
passed. It
passed.
passed.
Okay.
And there have been several veterans that I've heard from who called to say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when it passed in 17, I had a got a call from a woman who said, "Can I come and see you and talk about this?" And I said, "Sure." Um, and so we met, and she started crying. She said, "I want to tell you thank you for this bill because she was discharged in 1967, 68, I think it was,
Oh,
and she
wow.
was having some issues, some medical issues that were associated with her service."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she said, when the commander told her, said, "Come here, and someone has accused you of this," and she said she knew exactly who it was, and she didn't fight it because her mother was living, and she didn't want her mother to have to, go through that. Well, since 67 all the way up until 2017, she was just kind of bouncing around, wasn't able to get a job because when you get a dishonorable discharge,
Yeah.
that's just like getting a felony. Wasn't able to get a real job, wasn't able to get housing, wasn't able to get treated, and the medical situation that she was having while she was in the service, because it wasn't treated, was exacerbated.
Mm.
And she said because of that bill, and she had already started working to get her discharge upgraded. She said because of that bill, she said, I can now go to the VA,
Oh,
and I have
great.
access. She said I can get a home loan. I can
Mm-hmm.
do, I mean, a number of things that she said, she could get. And so it's working the way I wanted it to work. I just have to make sure that more and more people understand that in the state of Nevada, you can work with the Nevada Department of Service, the Service of, I'm sorry, let me get it right. Nevada Department of Veteran Services. I always want to say
Okay.
VA, Veteran Services. You can work with them and get your discharge upgraded at no cost to you.
And that's for
Yeah.
any
Any,
what type of
it,
discharge?
if you have, so depending upon how homophobic the commander was, they either
Mm-hmm.
got a dishonorable discharge, they might have gotten a general discharge, they might have gotten a discharge under other than honorable.
Other
Some
than
got a
honorable.
some
Yeah.
some got a medical discharge, but there were some stipulations in there that alerted people that the medical was because they were gay. And so
Mm.
anyone who has a discharge, a DD 214, and whatever is attached to that, if that has kept you from getting your GI benefits, please, 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 Nevada Department of Veteran Services, please call
You
them
heard that,
and make sure
Nevada
that they.
Department of Veteran Services. And I am so happy that you said that, because I run across so many people who have been in this same situation. So I don't know if you know anything about, as far as when they're trying to get compensated under the MST program.
Mhm,
It's almost shunned upon a little bit.
mhm,
They
mhm,
have all these meetings that you can go to. They even tell you. Now, let me just say this. Even if you put in a claim for MST, the
mhm,
VA, whether you had an honor, and I guess this bill, because I just recently saw that you can still receive service from the
mhm,
Veterans Benefit, from the Veterans Administration. You can still get that service, like
mhm,
counseling or whatever you need,
mhm,
in relation to that, whether you are compensatable or not. And that's a good thing. The VA has come a long way. I mean, the military has come a long way in that. Don't ask, don't tell. A lot of, like you said, proudly served, and you
mhm,
couldn't even be who you are
mhm,
while you
mhm.
were in there.
Yeah,
You generally came in there to serve, and
yeah.
and to witness and to see some of that was heartening, because I had developed so many friends during that time that suffered through that, and they would tell you, but you'd be like, oh, you can't say anything about that, and
Mhm,
it hurts later on.
Yeah.
But so I'm
Yeah.
glad these services are out there. And to all my fellow female vets, please, please do not be afraid to go to the VA
Yeah.
and get your services that you need.
Mhm.
If you have these issues and you're living in Nevada, like she said, the Nevada um,
Department
State
of Veteran Services.
Department of Veteran Services, the
Mm-hmm.
what is it, DVS,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Department of Veteran
In,
Services
in
will
NDVS, NDVS, Nevada Department of Veteran Services, NDVS. Mm-hmm.
NDVS will assist you. So, Mayor, let's quickly, since we're all on these issues of veterans and we are proud veterans because we are representing and we are kicking off
Mm-hmm.
the Veterans Day that's coming up November the 11th, National Veterans Day. But we're kicking it off because we're going to honor our veteran next to me over here on the microphone, me and Stretch. Stretch couldn't get on, so we had a technical, and it's kind of good because I am listed as DJ Stretch, but I am Antonita LESHAE
Mm-hmm.
here. If you guys are watching, but let's just talk about North Las Vegas if we can, because you are running a good race.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so many great things about that race and the representation of veterans. I don't know where your borderline and your jurisdiction, because I used to do a little political campaigning and things like that when I was in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so
Oh,
you know the politics of
Chi-town.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm next door in Naptown in Indiana.
Okay, yeah, yes, you are. You're from Indy, and I'm just being a former resident of of North Las Vegas. I've seen it grown in my 5 years of being here. It is beautiful. You have a lot of stores. Everything is every time I turn around, homes are being built, stores are being built. It's a beautiful town. The police are very nice. That I've I have not run across any administrators or any council people, but I mean, because the police is there and they're very friendly, I've had some interaction with them, and the city, and plus my office where I work is in North Las Vegas. So we just want to know the people of North Las Vegas. What are your plans?
So, one of the first things, North Las Vegas has probably the highest number of veterans who reside here in North Las Vegas.
Hmm.
There was back in 2014. I worked with a group of women, and who started Life After Active Duty.
Okay.
It was a 501c3, and we were able to get the top floor of a building that's right across the street from Nature Park.
Hmm.
And they looked at that building because it was very close to where the VA hospital is.
Yeah.
They were able to stay open until I think they finally had to close in like 2017 because they
Mm.
couldn't get funding.
Mm.
And let me look. Let me go back to what I said earlier. People can say all day long, thank you for your service. But unless they are showing some tangible aspect of that gratitude, it means nothing.
Right.
I was in the airport a couple of weeks ago, and was ordering something, and I asked the lady, the cashier. I said, I have a military card. Does that mean anything? She said, no, that doesn't mean anything. I said, oh,
What?
okay. And so I said, well, thank you. And I said, cancel the order.
Mm.
And even if she didn't
Mm.
mean it like that, the fact that it was so glib and it just kind of rolled up. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Really? It doesn't matter. And so what Eve and them were trying to do was they had what they called it a one-start shop.
Mm.
Everything that veterans needed, if you had issues with your DD-214, if you had issues trying to get, medical qualifications, whatever you needed, they had
Right.
all of it right there. They even had a space reserved for social activity. They had a
Mm.
radio station that was in there, and
Mm.
they were open. Like I said, I want to say it was 2014 until they closed in like 2017, and they were just operating on a shoestring budget. Went around to a lot of people and asked them to help, to include the city of North Las Vegas, and they couldn't get a lot of people to help. Well,
Mm.
the owners of the building had already cut the rent to where it was very
Okay.
nominal.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get money for the additional services. The one service that they were doing that no one else was doing then, and to my knowledge, no one else is doing now, and that is focusing on women veterans.
Yes. Yes.
The MST aspect of it. There were a lot of people, a lot of women who didn't make it to 20 because they wouldn't go out with the drill sergeant, or they wouldn't let their commanding officer touch on them or feel on them or whatever it was, and so they didn't make it. I mean, I've held listening sessions with women for specifically around MST and what your experiences were. I remember in 1986, I was a captain, and my senior raider called me into his office, and he'd been telling me, he said, Captain, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Okay, he's a colonel. He's no 6, right? When I go in there, no, not right now. A couple of weeks passed by, and one day he says, Captain, I need to see you in my office about 1400. I said, yes, sir. So I walked around there, got around there about 1345. If you're on time, you're late, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in there, and his assistant says, she says, well, the colonel see you now. I said, okay. So I'll go in, report, Captain Spearman reporting is ordered, sir. Stand at ease, soldier. And I'm standing at ease. All right. My hands are behind my back. All right. And his hands move from the top of the desk to below the desk. And I'm trying to figure out what he's doing. And then he starts making all these noises, and his face is contorted. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God. I mean, in my mind, and he starts telling me, what he wants to do to me in very graphic terms. I was standing there, and I'm telling you, I almost passed out.
Oh my
I said, I can't believe this is happening to me. And I finally said, sir, I don't do that, sir. And he's still masturbating, telling me how good he can be for my career. And I said, no, sir, I don't do that. No, sir, I can't do that. And so finally he said, dismiss, get out of here. And so, feet back together, turn around and, about face, and I walk out. I got back to my office, and I was doing this. I was just shaking.
Oh,
and
wow.
and my office mate, he said, hey, what's wrong with you? You sick? I said, I think I might have eaten something for lunch or something. I said,
Right. Those are the things.
Yeah. I said, I'm not feeling too good. Yeah. And so he said, you want to go home? I said, we had that briefing. He said, I'll handle it. He said, go on back to your room. I said, okay. And I left, and my legs were wobbly. Got in my car, and it was on a Wednesday, and I could not believe what had just happened to me. My entire career flashed before my face, and I'm thinking, what is he going to do to me? Because I didn't say yes to his demands. Yeah. Well, that Saturday, Wednesday is when he did it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, he showed up at my hotel room. They didn't have quarters for single officers, and so they put us up in the Marriott. He shows up in my hotel room, knocks on the door, and someone said, "Don't say anything." I went to the door, and I looked through the peephole, and it was him, and my heart just started racing. I was and I stepped away from the door, and I'm like, Jesus, what's going to happen? I didn't know. And he stayed out there. When the lady, the housekeeper, came to clean, I stepped into the bathtub and pulled the shower curtain over me, and she was in there. She's just singing and everything. She comes into the bathroom, and she pulls the curtain over. She said, I said, shh.
Wow.
I said, don't say anything. Don't say. And she said, and I said, close the door. I spoke a lot more Spanish then than I do now. I just said, "Sí, la puerta." And she said, She closed the door. And I told her, I said, it's a bad man. And she said, oh. And in whatever English and Spanish I could come across, I tried to let her know what was going on. He stayed out there in the hallway. She finished cleaning my room. He was still out there. When I looked outside and he had left, I got ready to go downstairs. Some said, call the desk and see if he's down there. Well, let me say this. First of all, it's just nice to be nice to people, not to get anything, but just be nice to people and acknowledge them.
Nice.
And and so that's me. I would speak to the desk staff and everybody, hi, how you doing, and that sort of thing. And so when I called down, they said, oh yes, the young captain. I said, just listen to me, don't say anything. And I described him. I said, is he down there? And she said, yes. I said, he's not a good person and he's stalking me. And she said, oh, you want me to call your commander? I said, no, he is the commander. And she said, oh, okay. That whole day I'm in my room. I'm praying, I'm crying. I call home, and it's long distance. We don't have cell phones then.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
long distance, and
Yep.
I'm crying, and I'm trying to tell, my sister, this is what's happening to me. I don't know what I'm going to do.
What year was this in your
This is
career?
1986, and
So
I
you
was, it
still
was less than,
stayed in.
yeah,
Still stayed in
I
despite all of that.
had less than 10 years, and finally, at the end of the day, when the housekeeper got ready to leave, she came and knocked on, and she said, he's still downstairs. Come with me. And she let me out using the service elevator to go, on the back dock. And I did a little commando crawl from there to my car, and got in my car, and the song "Digging the Scene" with a gangster lean, you just kind of, and that's what I was doing, just because I didn't want him to see me. Now I said all that because right now I can still feel what it felt like. And I know that there are women who have gone through that. And every time I tell that story and there are women in the group that have gone through that, I can see their reaction. I can see sometimes how they tense up. I can even see some when they cry.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that we have to do. And we have to do it at every level of government. We've got to start focusing on women veterans.
Yes.
We've got housing, we got a lot of programs and things, and they say this is for veterans. And I say, close your eyes. And when I say this word, tell me what you see. Close your eyes, and then I say, veteran, what do you see? Let's see, I see a guy in a combat. Yeah, I said, exactly. A guy.
Yep.
You have to see women. The housing that is being focused on for veterans is usually housing that it's made for men. And if you are the victim of military sexual trauma, MST, you're not going over there. If you're a woman veteran and you're down on your luck and you got kids, you're not going over there. And so we have to focus on starting looking at services. That's one of the things that I want to do in this next office. Okay, I've done a lot. I've done as much as I can do right now as a state senator to try to make sure that veterans are taken care of. Just recently, in July, it was announced by Stations Casinos that they were going to close permanently Texas Station and the Fiesta over on Rancho. And so I had been talking to them, since the pandemic started and, it was closed. And I said, why don't you all take that and turn it into a facility for women veterans? It can be for women veterans. You can have also women in there who are recovering from domestic violence. Yes. You can also have in there women who are formerly incarcerated, need a place to stay, need to get skill sets. You can also have women in their senior years who cannot afford housing, but they don't just want to sit up in the house and rot. I said, you can take those rooms, reconfigure them, and make the suites, make like, small 2-3 bedroom apartment, whatever. And then on the main floor, have some, some businesses that are run by these people from these same categories. They may not be residents there, but from these same categories. And you can also use a lot of that space, the convention space, use that as a space to have all of the unions come in and they can establish a central point for their apprenticeship. You can also have CSN, NSC, UNLV, have them come in and work with veterans. In other words, this would be a fully self-contained facility for women who were trying to get ahead, and women for who didn't have transportation, women for who they didn't really want to be around a lot of people because of what had happened to them, and women for who, when you said, I'm going to school or I'm going to work, that meant taking the elevator to the floor wherever that apprenticeship was, or wherever that job was, or wherever. And I kept saying, I literally begged them, please do this, please do this. They decided not to do it. They turned it, they tore it down a couple of weeks ago. And I'll tell you, I'm still saddened by that. Here's my point. Anybody who's listening, will you all please, please, please help me help other folks understand we serve too.
Right.
We
Right.
serve too.
You
And
know,
we deserve you all to pay attention to us. There are some
yes.
special needs that women veterans have that nobody is talking about.
Right. I wish Stretch can come in on here because he can really see, and I talk to him about this a lot, about the mistreatment of of female veterans. I have a couple of them that I work with, and we sit and discuss this same issue. I've seen it when I go to the VA. Like I said, now the most well, I can't even. Well, living in Chicago, and I used to go to Jesse Brown VA.
Mhm,
I I very seldom saw women in there. It was mostly men
mhm,
that they'll be hanging out. And I can see why women probably wouldn't approach that
mhm,
facility.
mhm,
I, however, I just said, I'm going to go get my service. I served, I'm going to go there. But I do see a minimum of women going
mhm,
to get the services that they need and the treatment that female veterans get. I see it
mhm,
for myself. I always say, they treat us different. I
mhm,
say that all the time. I say that every day because even when I'm out, if I say, oh, I have a do you take military discount?
mhm,
Stretch is pulling out, they pull out his identification.
mhm,
Say
mhm,
acknowledge him more. I,
mhm.
I don't even get that same greeting.
Right, right, right,
I'm a
right.
I'm a woman. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. But then
yeah,
they go back talking
mhm,
to the man.
yeah.
There are some, and I can say this, I have an organization, Beautiful Black Women Network, and I vow as we speak today to do more services and get more women veterans involved in my mission.
Mhm,
And that's the mission to uplift women of color. Because
mhm,
even us as women of color, we go through something, but to be a
mhm,
veteran as well, you go
mhm.
to go through that too.
Sure,
So I want to do more,
sure.
and I said I was going to do more involvement with my veterans. And we
Mhm,
have an upcoming event that's coming up, and it's going to be centered around female veterans because, like you said, we don't get the attention that we
mhm,
so
mhm,
deserve.
mhm, mhm.
We
Yeah, and
serve.
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Mhm. No,
When I
no,
start talking about this is
it's
very, very close to my heart.
yes.
Very close to my heart. Just before you bring Stretch in, here, let me say this: we are in an election year,
Hmm.
and this what I'm about to say will not violate the Hatch Act, okay?
Okay.
But everyone running for office, I don't care what office it is, should be asked this question: what are your plans to help veterans in general and
Hmm.
women veterans specifically? Now I know that there are other demographics that need help as well. I get that.
Yes.
I know that there, are small businesses that need help. I get that. I know. I mean, I get it. The
Hmm.
the part that I'm looking at right now that I'm trying to lift up is the fact that we have women veterans who served, and something that I only started admitting in 2019. Uh, I was diagnosed with PTSD.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't even know what that was. There are other women that I know who were diagnosed with PTSD. We had a candidate forum a couple of months ago, and women veterans came in, and I kept saying, "Come on up to the front, come on up to the front." They were like, "Mm-mm, mm-mm."
Yeah.
And so at the break, I said, "Come on up to the front." I said, "No." And I looked. I said, "Oh, okay." Because
Mhm.
where the forum was being held, the back of the room was glass, and they could not
Mm.
come to the front because they had PTSD, and
Yeah.
they could not sit with their back, to the
Yeah.
door, and they
Yeah.
had to sit
Yeah.
in a place where they. And
So
so,
it
so,
go
so
ahead.
women veterans. So let me ask you a favor.
Mhm.
The organization that you have, will you help me reach out to some women veterans, and we can do it Zoom, we can do it in person, whatever
Absolutely.
works, and let's just
Absolutely.
have a listening session. I don't know
Mhm.
how much I can do, but whatever I can do, I will
Mhm.
do, and however I
Thank
can
you.
I can leverage. Whatever political or elected office that I'm in, however I can leverage that to get more done. But we have to make sure that women veterans are taken into account, and
Yes.
we are not just left behind because we
Yes.
serve too. Some of us were killed in IEDs as well.
Mhm.
Some
Mhm.
of us were killed on the battlefield in Vietnam. Nobody wants to talk about that, but that is
Right.
true. Some of
Yes.
us were killed in Korea during the Korean War. Nobody
Mhm.
wants to talk about that. Some of us were sexually assaulted in Desert Storms, Desert Shield. Nobody wants to talk
Iraq,
about that.
everything,
Iraq, every
Afghanistan,
war
every war.
that
Yeah. And
every
still
war
today,
we
and
have
still
served, and
today, and
still
still today.
today, there are still women that are putting their lives on the line. Okay,
Yes.
and so to say, well, we
Physically
do
and
this for
mentally.
veterans. Yes, we
Mhm.
do this for veterans, and think that one size fits all. No,
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 it
no, it
doesn't.
doesn't. It doesn't. And let me stop there because I'm
Yeah, because
getting.
you're getting me emotional, and I am sitting here because I just spoke to one of my friends who served. I didn't stay in as long as I could. I wanted to. I wished I could have, but then when I hear the stories, it just broke my heart because I was an advocate even in there for some of the people I saw suffering.
Mhm.
And again, they don't acknowledge it, and it's a sad situation. I just wish that there were more services. And again, I appreciate you. I do need the help. I do want to reach, we want to reach as many women veterans because, again, men get it all.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're being saluted, they're being
Mhm.
appreciated. It's all
Yeah.
about them. But what about the women?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about
When I
us?
when I first went in, let me tell you something. When I first went in,
Mhm.
um, there were some people because I went in right after the WAC Corps was deactivated and women were assessed into the services, just assessed straight in, right?
Yeah.
And I was commissioned in the Military Police Corps. They didn't want women, and they sure didn't want black women.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm,
The
mm.
very first day, my very first day of officer basic, one of the TAC officers, the facilitators walked around the room and he's talking about everything you can expect and everything. And he said, look around the room, look around the room. It's about 67 or 68 of us, something like that. And he said, look around the room. And everybody starts looking around the room. He said, some of the people that you see in here today. And then he leaned down in my face and said, won't be here at graduation. And I
Mm.
looked up at him and I looked at Jerry. He was sitting beside me and said, he ain't talking about me. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
everything that I did, I had to be 3 times, 4 times
Better.
better than.
Oh, yeah.
I had to run faster. I had to do
Mhm.
more sit-ups. I had to do more push-ups. All of my papers had to be strapped. They had to be always intact. What was designed to kill me or to make
Made
me
you
quit
stronger.
made me strong. Exactly. And some people
Exactly.
say, how did you last long
Yes.
enough? And most of my
Even for you.
career was served in a military that still didn't want women in it and still didn't want black women. Still
Mm,
didn't want
mm,
black women
mm,
in it. Okay. But
mhm.
but I was able to do that because I decided early on, I'm getting out when I decided.
Yes.
Nobody's going to come
Gonna
between
force
me
me out.
and reach
Yes.
nobody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Even
so
in
you
the
can,
endurance
yeah,
of
you
the
can act like an alpha
MSP.
hotel. You can
Yeah.
act like an alpha hotel. You ain't gonna make me quit. You ain't gonna make me
Mhm.
quit. And it's
Right.
that same determination that I bring now and the passion that I bring now to help veterans, especially
Yes.
women veterans. And it's not just us, it's the same dedication and passion that I bring to helping the people who are in the margins, who people
Yes.
who need a voice. Okay.
Yes.
And
The
the good
voice
part
or
about
the
me right
voiceless.
now, I'm retired. I'm
Mhm.
retired. I could turn this camera and show you boxes of I love me plaques that
Mhm.
I can't put up on my wall because I don't have space for them. So I don't need your accolades. Okay.
Right.
I don't need you to pump me up. I don't need you to push up my ego. I don't need none of that. Okay.
Right.
So when
Right.
I serve, I'm serving because I want to and because I can. And I'm at a place in my life where I can't be bought. I
Yes.
won't be bought. I,
Yes.
I'm like what's her name in Congress? I'm unbought and unbossed. And
Yes.
so the things that I'm fighting for now are the things that people need someone to fight for. And for whatever the reason, we don't have a lot of people that are in that game. I'm
Mhm.
I'm in here right now and I'm fighting for you. If
Thank
you need
you.
a fighter, you need a voice. I want to be that one.
Come here.
I want to
Come
be that
here.
one.
And you know what? I have that same I have that
Shirley
same
Chisholm.
energy. I've
Yeah. Mhm.
always been the voice of voices. I still do that in each and every day of my life. I stand up for what I believe. I believe in what I believe, and I'm going to stand on. Ain't nobody going to no one is going to distract me from what I'm trying to do. And it like you said, it still goes on in the
Mhm.
workplace. No matter what, women are marginalized.
Mhm.
We don't get, we fight so hard to
Mhm.
be accepted and to be treated fairly. And to get and for the vets, I mean, if you are a female veteran, and we both are female veterans on this line, and I'm glad, Stretch, we appreciate you because I knew you stood down because you see that this topic was going where it was going, and you did. We appreciate you for that, for allowing me to continue on and to continue this interview, because suffering from PTSD myself and in the MST situation myself, I don't even remember the names. That's how bad it was for me. I can't remember the names. But see the situation, and I've been out for what? Since 2016, 15?
Wow.
You know, you still see it as if it happened today. Like you said, your
And you
situation
feel
back
it.
in the 80s. You feel it. You see it. You see the situation. It's like a mirror. Like every day you wake up, don't nobody understand. And when they're rating these people for these conditions, they don't understand. You have to paint a picture. Who wants to relive that all over again? And that's the problem with a lot of women, that they have to face to relive this again. And then they have this one little section of in the VA where the women have to go walk through just to get to an appointment. I wish that the office, that the room was maybe a little closer, because it's hard for them to even step in the place to even go to their appointments, because they're accosted by gentlemen or whatever the situation may be. It's a never-ending story. It just goes on and on and on. And I'm saddened because even now you're telling me this, that it's still going on, and it's still no services.
Yeah.
Still
Very little service.
enough.
Yeah.
Very little to
Now
none.
I can say this for the folks who are over there now, the administration that's over at
Mhm.
the North Las Vegas VA Hospital. They have done a lot to clean up that stuff.
Okay.
And one of the reasons that they had the women's clinic up and in the back is so that, number one, we can have more space.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, the only reason you should be back there that far back is because you're a woman seeking services,
Mm.
or you are a spouse, a partner of somebody who is receiving services.
Right.
Okay, there's no reason for someone, a guy who's in there for treatment of allergies. You got no reason to be back there.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of strategy there, but and I know that the VA is getting ready to build. They're going to build a standalone women's clinic,
Mm.
and so
Good.
that
Good.
will be helpful as well. I want to say this again, and I want to offer this. Um, However, this race turns out in November, I'm still going to be serving. I'm going to
Yes.
either be serving as the mayor of North Las Vegas, and I'm fighting very hard to do that, or I'm going to go back to the state senate, and I'll be serving in a senior leadership capacity there. I
Okay.
don't want to lose the fire and the motivation, or the accelerated interest, if you will, of people when it comes to women veterans and those issues. When it comes to
Mhm.
women who are recovering from domestic violence. When it comes to women who are coming out and formerly incarcerated. That's another group we don't talk about either.
Right.
And
Yeah, we
so I
don't.
want to make sure that we keep this momentum going, and
Mm-hmm.
so please invite me back after November the 8th. Please invite me back,
Yes,
and
we're going
let's
to
talk
invite
about
you back.
this, and
Yes.
let's also start planning some type of a forum, some type of a listening session where we can invite women in, just women, because we need to be able to talk about stuff that we can't talk about in front of nobody else.
Right.
Help me
Exactly.
do that.
I would help you do that, any capacity you may need me in, as far as those services with veterans. I am open and willing to assist. I go hard for what I go hard for. I believe in what I believe in. And I am passionate about what I am passionate about. And it touches me because I am in those situations at every facet that you are out there fighting for. I fight with you. Anyone that's living in the North Las Vegas area, please check out Lieutenant Colonel, retired Senator, mayoral candidate for North Las Vegas, Pat Spearman, Dr. Pat Spearman, because she does have a PhD. So you don't put all those accolades up, but it is what it is. It's on paper. You cannot take away who you are. You are who you are. You stand for what you believe in. I appreciate you. I really, truly appreciate you. When I met Miss Turner at Office Depot, this was just the other day, I mean, last weekend. And I reached and I told her, I gave her our card that we have a radio station. We're veterans. You know, and when she said she's strong about those veterans, I said, well, we are both Army veterans. Go Army. You know, we just gotta we gotta stand and we gotta support each other. And when she took it, we was like, oh, we probably won't hear anything. But you reached out immediately. And we have this interview. You granted us this interview. We are so delighted. We are planning because when your victory campaign, we will be there to cheer you on, stand by your side, whatever you need us to do, we will be there because you will reign victorious because no matter what, God sees it. God sees you. Yes, God sees what you're doing. He appreciates it. No matter what, you're still fighting. You're a fighter. You've been fighting all your life. So now is your time to continue the fight, continue the quest of making North Las Vegas one of the best cities this county and this state has ever had. So we're looking forward to seeing what you are going to do over there. Again, this is a plug for our radio station, Hot 89.1 FM WSLS here in Las Vegas. And nationally, we call ourselves because we're even in Africa. We go people, we reach people there. So we're a national radio station. And anyone, this message was for you. It wasn't particularly for anyone in the North Las Vegas. It's for all veterans. And for you men, recognize the veterans. Some of you are married to some female veterans. Recognize her as you should be because you already know you already being recognized. It's a difference. It's a major difference.
Thank you.
And
Can I
stretches on
just ask him?
froze.
Can I
Mhm.
ask him to go to patspearman.com and leave me some comments about some of the things that they've heard me say and some of the things
Mhm.
we might be able to do to rectify. If I don't hear from you, I don't know. I don't
What
know.
who you are
Yeah.
or what
Hmm.
well, yeah. So reach out to petspearman.com and you can ask questions. And in here too, if you want to put some things out, we can forward it over to her because she's very transparent. This is one thing my eyes lit up when you were talking about your story because how many of us can do that? I didn't think anybody was as transparent as myself because I'm the most transparent person anyone can ever meet. I don't hide behind who I am. I am who I am, whether you like me or not. I will continue to be who I am. And that's just what makes me. It will not break me. So this is for all of you. You have a few minutes left. Please leave us with your agenda again. I know we touched on veterans, but we have people that are regular people that you're going to be serving too.
Give
What
me 30 seconds. Let me
30
close
seconds?
this window
Okay.
because you can hear that in the background. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. Stretch.
I'm back. So
Okay.
um, my agenda is the same as it's been
Mhm.
while in the Senate. That is to identify challenges and problems that are affecting people negatively. Bring people together. Let's figure out how to solve them, and then let's go to work.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that our veterans, particularly, and I'm tired of people using us as a prop. Okay,
Yes.
don't disband the Veterans Service Commission for the city of North Las Vegas. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and then suddenly bring it back. If if it was relevant then, you know it was relevant now. If it's relevant now, you know it was relevant then. So don't do that. I don't like when people just, you know, give lip service. I want to make sure that people who are struggling to come back from the pandemic, I want to make sure that they have every opportunity that they can. You talked about, you know, some listeners in Africa. I need you all to hear this. My my doctoral dissertation is in global energy policy. And Africa is one of the places that I would really like to partner with to make sure we're using renewable and clean energy to help them to help them get a grid that is reliable, because as soon as they get a grid that is reliable, then their economic diversification and processes can prosper. I want to make sure we do that. I want to make sure that neighborhoods are respected and not neglected. I want to make sure that whenever we're going to build something, if you're going to build a 52,000 square foot anything, don't put it next to a neighborhood. Don't put it next to a school. I want to make sure that, and I've said these things for a long, long time, so this is not new to anybody who's followed me. I want to make sure that we're doing more than lip service when it comes to improving the healthcare and healthcare options and delivery systems for the people of North Las Vegas. I want to make sure that government is transparent in every way. I want to make sure that it's accessible to people in every way. Right now, one of the things, and I've said this openly, I've said this in front of the current administration, you cannot have a city council meeting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and say it's open for anybody, because the people that I know that work for a living, not a hobby. And so they can't get off at 4 o'clock. And even if they were off at 4 o'clock, many of them are either getting ready to go to bed to take a nap because they got midnight shift, or they're just waking up because they got to be at work at 6. So I want to make sure that all of those things are happening. I want to make sure that we take care of this affordable housing crisis, or lack of affordable housing crisis that we have.
Homelessness.
Yes. And because some of the people that are homeless, guess what? They are veterans as well. Homeless and veterans should never be in the same sentence. Never be in the same sentence. Okay. NEVA, never be in the same sentence. You know, so those are just some of the things that I want to do. And that really is no different than what I've done in the Senate. I've taken on challenges and fights that I believe need to be won and need to be overcome. I do it not because I need some kind of accolade. I don't need that. I'm at a point in my life right now where I can do the giving back, the kind of giving back that I wanted to do when I was in my 30s and my 40s. I can do it now. Because as Shirley Chisholm said, I'm unbought and unbossed.
Yeah, so we have DJ Stretch too. You can just, he's there. Oh, you okay? You okay? Okay. All right. So he's here. Hey, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm in the background.
Oh, he's in the background.
I'm just in the back. I'm doing some work back here. I'm letting y'all talk.
Oh, we hear you. So go talk, because we only have a few minutes, so you can say your hi. Are you okay, Lieutenant Colonel? We don't want to lose you. Her voice. She's passionate, y'all. So she's talking. We're gonna give her a few more minutes. Stretch. She's losing her voice. So
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you took a drink.
It's H2O. H2O.
Oh, I was just making sure that's what it was. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Well, you guys, I was letting you guys talk because it's more of a it's informational. But when you have two female veterans talking about what they what happens in the military, what happens in the armed forces, as when women are coming through the ranks and everything. So, you know, see, I'm one of these people. I'm the type of person. If you're a vet, you're a vet, baby. Regardless. Right. So, like when I'm out, if I'm me and Anthony out, I'm out with some other female vets or whatever, and they're like she said earlier, the guys will say, "Thank you for your service." I'm like, okay, well, she a vet too. You know. So I always tell the way I can see it is this way: if you want to get that, and it shouldn't have to be that way, but they don't know I'm a vet anyway unless I wear the hat. Or I got the shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, so
right.
So if you wear the hat and the shirt, you know, you may have another vet look at you and won't say nothing, and he have his stuff on. Like, wait a minute, so you thank him first, and he'll probably thank you. All I know is everybody should get the fair treatment when somebody is thanking you for your service or whatever, you know. So you guys, hey, So y'all have a women's meeting or whatever, this and another. I call it a old school motherboard meeting if y'all want to have that.
All right. Now, you do know I'm an ordained minister too, right?
I know that already. Yeah, see, I know that already. So have your old school motherboard meeting, and what you should do is, since the radio station is sponsoring your what you going through as far as being the mayor's concerned and everything. So we're gonna sponsor that, and I think that my next thing is, I don't know if you guys talked about it out the in and out. So I think that you should have an all women veteran meeting, party, whatever y'all want to do, this and the other, and just have a women's day that day and invite all the women there. You know what I'm saying? All female beds, no men.
Right.
Invite the women, and then probably for about a couple of 3 or 4 hours. Then on the next hand, you invite all the men in. That way they'll get some understanding of what's what, and then give them that literature and all that good stuff. So that's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They that'll help out a lot. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go finish it. I'm
Now
going
we're
back.
about to close out. So again, we want to thank you for taking the opportunity to grant us this interview. We don't take it for granted. And again, I will be reaching out to Miss Turner to let her know. I already told her, with any facet that she needs me, I am open and available to help you in any which way I can. Again, at the now when I become out of my service in my employment, then I will be on the ground running on all levels, because I've done it in Chicago. I know I can do it here for you. I stumped those grounds and did all I had to do, because that's my passion. I love helping people. I am about people. That's what I do. I'm a service. I call myself, my middle name is Service. And it's more I wish I can do at my own job, because sometimes I cry in there, and I'm a social service advocate, and I can't even do the social service advocacy in the place of my employment, because I just can't. It's a government agency, and we're limited to what we can do. We just forward them over to all these other social service agency. I'm a social service government agent. It's just, I play both hats. I wear many hats, and I'm just delighted that you were able to take this interview with us, and we're going to leave you. Stretch, you have one final word?
All I'm gonna say is, have a, you just you guys do what you're supposed to do, and make sure that you take what I was talking about in consideration, and go from there.
Open that casino in North Las Vegas. Get it going.
Well, you know what I'd like to do in North Las Vegas is, I wish they wouldn't open another casino.
One.
I wish
Okay.
what they would do is take the space, take the land, and use it for something dedicated to women's services. Women
So wait a
veterans.
minute. So is that North? So is the, I'm gonna ask, where they tearing down the Texas station?
They tore
That's
it
not
down.
North Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's
Is
North
it
Las
North Las?
Vegas. Yeah,
Oh, that's
they
North
tore.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, they tore it down. They tore it
I
down.
know they're in the process of so that yeah, that we that you know what, we have to push for that, because they said they do not want another casino in that land. So I will work hard with you, and I'm saying this, we're going to work to make sure that we can put something together in that space. If it's a little tent, we going to start there. We got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to help in that facility in any capacity I can, as far as helping with those women veterans getting that place built. And when we break ground, because we will break, I'm a believer. I see it. I'm manifesting that thing. When we break ground on that, we gonna say amen, and we gonna say job well done. And you finally heard us. We're gonna stand. You're gonna hear us. You're gonna see us, and we're gonna be out there on the ground. I'm not a talk person. I be about what I say. I'm
Don't
action.
talk about it. Be about it.
Action.
Yeah.
Action Jackson. That's not my last name, but
Yeah. But let me
all right.
just say this in closing. The election in North Las Vegas is an election about change. If people are satisfied with the way things have been going, neighborhoods that have been overrun by warehouses and gas stations and car washes, if people are satisfied that there are things that happen in the background that people don't know about, if people are satisfied with a lot of the lawsuits that the city has been involved in, and lawsuits that did not have to happen, if they're satisfied with those things, if they're satisfied with a government that is not transparent, then I'm not your person. If you want change and you want to talk about real economic development and bringing jobs that are not $15 an hour, if you want to talk about breaking ground on real projects that you have everybody there for, and they're talking about what they're going to do, and they're already talking about their commitment. If you want to have a city that is maximizing opportunities for everybody, I'm your person. If you're looking for someone who will stand up and speak for you and will not back down, I'm your person. If you're looking for a mouse, I ain't your person, okay? I ain't your person. If you want things to stay the way they are, I ain't your person. You want change, change that will bring opportunities, successful opportunities to everybody else, I'm your person.
Okay, then you heard it there. She's your person. That's her slogan. I'm your person. So go out and support Pat Spearman for the mayor of North Las Vegas. Again, we are going to work side by side with you if you have us as
Yes,
far as
yes,
the
yes,
radio station is concerned. Any way
yes.
that you'll have me as a fee, we all are veterans, and we're going to stand by you. Stretch is always very transparent as well. He speak on a lot of issues that people don't like. We talk about things here on this radio station that's truth, and if you can't handle the truth, move on to another station. If you don't want the service, if you want to stay the same, then stay with the people that stays the same because we're
Mhm.
movement. We're
Yeah,
moving. We're moving
yeah.
forward and move with us. Thank you guys again. Have a wonderful Monday because I am off.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day off. And we'll chat soon, okay?
Thank
Thank
you.
you again.
Thank you.
Salute you because you have to salute our Stretch. He's a colonel
A
now.
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
Colonel.
Colonel. We salute you. Thank
Let
you
me
for
get
your
my
service.
let me get my dress on right quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at a slump. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Let me get right. All right.
Okay.
Okay, Colonel.
Attention. Boom.
I'm talking about right there, boy.
All righty.
All right.
Take care.
Ah,
All
okay.
right.
Thank
All
you
right.
all. I appreciate this time. Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Thank
Okay. All
you.
right.
Have a great day.
All right. You all too. Bye bye.
We'll see you later.
Oh, Stretch. You know
Well,
what? You
I
found,
mean,
but why am I DJ Stretch? Because you was able to change her name, but you kept your name up there for the duration of this interview where I was DJ Stretch. And now you're DJ Stretch too. How were you not able to change? And I mean, LESHAE and Rikma name up here. Why isn't LESHAE and Rikma mentioned?
I don't know.
Hmm?
I'll just
Huh?
put a name. I'll
DJ?
just put a
No.
name. Anyway, I'll just put a name.
Anyway, go ahead. So
Yeah.
listen, wasn't that a powerful interview?
Yeah.
I was so well, I didn't want to share tears on here, but it was coming. They were there. And listen, to you North Las Vegas residents, if you hadn't heard anything, please support Pat Spearman in all her capacities and what she's doing. As from your centurial races and things like that, whatever you choose to do. I can't, like, again, we couldn't touch on a lot of stuff because I am binded by the Hatch Act as a government employee. But as far as the mayoral campaign is concerned, you make your decision. You heard her voice. You heard what she had to say. It's your decision, and your decision matter. Your voice, she is already told you that she's the voice of the voiceless. She is compassionate and passionate about those veterans and females in particularly, not excluding anyone else because we are already excluded as females veterans as it is, but we're just going to focus on that particular class because we are important too. So if you ever see me out, I am a female veteran. Don't just acknowledge another veteran of a male counterpart of mine. Acknowledge that I am a veteran too, because I am one. I've served my country. I did what I was supposed to do. So again, we thank you guys for tuning in. We do have some upcoming things coming up as far as the radio station is concerned. So stay tuned for that. We will keep you updated of what we plan to do. So again, we want to thank Dr. Pat Spearman for her interview, Lieutenant Colonel of the United States Army. We want to thank her for taking the opportunity to join us today. Any final words, Stretch?
No, you did it all. I ain't got
As
nothing
I
else to
so
say.
do so very well. No, I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
But again, thank you guys.
See
Ciao.
you. Ciao.
internet radio stations around. You're listening to
Hot 89.1.